We're going to start out with a bowl of frozen tater tots. To that bowl, we're going to add about a tablespoon of oil, and then we're going to add some spices. We got a half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of mustard powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a teaspoon of onion powder. Let's toss those tater tots or stir them. Just get those spices evenly distributed amongst all the tots. Spread those tots out on a sheet tray. Get them in a single layer. Make sure they're not overlapping each other. We want the exteriors of these tots nice and crunchy. We're going to throw them in a 450-degree oven for 5 minutes less than whatever the package tells you to do. This is the rapscallion, and one of my favorite ways to turn tater tots into a meal is by making bacon cheeseburger tater tot casserole. But this isn't the recipe you're used to seeing. We're making an upgraded version of that viral recipe, and I think you'll be happy. There's no canned cream of whatever soup or canned cheese soup, whatever that is. Instead, we'll make the easiest cheese sauce you've ever made using real shredded cheddar. The beef mixture actually resembles a cheeseburger, and you're not going to end up with a mushy tater tot mess because, as you've seen, we're pre-cooking these frozen tots. Well, let's keep going. Now that we've got our tots pre-cooked, we're going to go ahead and take some of them and put a single layer of those tots in a casserole dish, and we'll start assembling. First things first, we need to make our meat sauce. We're going to start by dicing half an onion. We'll go ahead and mince a clove of garlic. Now we'll put a skillet over medium heat and add about a tablespoon of oil. We'll add our onions to that. We'll cook for about 3 to 5 minutes till they start to get translucent. Next, we'll add our garlic and cook that till it's fragrant, about 30 to 60 seconds. At this point, you're going to want to add a pinch of salt, about a half a teaspoon. Next, we're going to add about a pound of ground beef to that onion garlic mixture. We're going to brown this ground beef, breaking it up and stirring it as we go. Once the ground beef is browned, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of ketchup. We'll add a 1/4 cup of yellow mustard. Feel free to use brown mustard if you prefer. And then we'll add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Go ahead and stir all this together. Next, we'll add a can of diced tomatoes. Feel free to use fresh tomatoes if you prefer. I just find the canned tomatoes easy to use and way more consistent than fresh tomatoes here in Colorado. I'm going to add a little salt to this mixture as well. Continue to stir. I'm going to continue to saute this mixture until it gets to a thick consistency, kind of like a chili. Next, I added a cornstarch slurry mixture, about 1 teaspoon of cornstarch mixed in about a tablespoon of water. I just wanted to thicken my beef mixture up even more. This is completely optional. You probably don't need to do this. I just didn't want a bunch of liquidy grease to fall to the bottom of the casserole, so I did this to thicken things up. Again, you can do this if you'd like. If not, it'll be fine. Now we'll spread about half of this beef mixture over that first layer of tater tots. Next up, we're going to make the easiest and quickest cheese sauce you've ever made. We're going to take 1 cup of evaporated milk, bring it to a simmer over medium-high heat, and then, once it gets to a simmer, we are going to take the heat down to low, and we're going to slowly add 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. It's that simple. There's no roux or anything like that. It does take a little bit of patience as you want to melt the cheese slowly into the evaporated milk, but anybody could do this. There'll be a little addition at the end that adds a little flavor, but other than that, it's just evaporated milk and cheese. You'll see that I just kind of slowly add handful after handful, totaling 2 cups, and stirring as I go. The great thing about this, instead of using a can of cheese soup, which I've not actually ever used, is that you can use different types of cheddar cheese if you want. You could use American, you could use Gruyere, whatever you want in there to add flavor, you can do. Again, the key is just to slowly add and stir and let it come to a nice thick consistency. Next, I'm going to add a tablespoon of dill pickle brine. Because we're making bacon cheeseburger tater tot casserole, I thought that would be appropriate. Keep in mind, if you were just making nacho cheese sauce, you could add some jalapeno brine and that would be great. Just adding a little acidity, breaking things up. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. Next, we're going to pour about half of this cheese sauce evenly over the tater tot and beef mixture. Now, you can't have a bacon cheeseburger tater tot casserole without bacon, so we need to cook some bacon. I'm going to cook about a half a pound. I'm using a skillet here, but feel free to cook the bacon however you like. Oven, air fryer, microwave, whatever works best for you. Next, we're going to roughly chop that bacon so we can incorporate it into our casserole. Sprinkle about half of that chopped bacon over the meat, cheese, and tater tot mixture that you've got going so far. top all this with the rest of your tater tots, but be sure to reserve about a cup. You're going to want those to sprinkle on at the end for extra texture. On top of this, go ahead and spread the rest of that beef mixture. Follow it up with the rest of that cheese sauce, being sure to spread it evenly throughout the casserole. At this point, I'm going to spread that remaining cup of tater tots on top of the casserole. Sprinkle the rest of our chopped bacon on top of that. And on top of that, we're going to sprinkle shredded cheese. About half a cup will be enough. We're going to put this in that 450-degree oven for 8 to 10 minutes. Basically, I want the cheese to be completely melted with some nice browning on top. Take a look at this as it comes out. That's perfect. That looks delicious. It's time to enjoy your next level bacon cheeseburger tater tot casserole.